What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. I know some of you guys are tired of King's Court, and it is a targeted set, more so for the boomers, which is why I'm so excited for how it turned out. But it's like the set is coming out next weekend, and there is a gross amount of misinformation going around the secret rare, pharaoh rares, and ultra rares. It's now being dubbed pharaoh rares. You might know these as millennium rares if you're driving, so that's what we're talking about. Slifer, Obelisk, and the Raw have appeared in two rarities. It first started with PPG doing a live stream, and they revealed that they pulled secret rares. They thought it was a collector rare misprint, and then they look closer and they're like, that's like millennium rare, and now dubbed pharaoh's rare. Then the ultra rare got pulled by Simply Unlucky, and tons more people have been seeing ultra rares. Yet I have confirmation that these have been pulled in the EU. Tons of people are saying these are not an EU product. However, I have not seen them in a foreign language, which is where that misquote may be coming from. So if you pull an Italian, German, any other language at all, please tag me immediately on Twitter or Facebook so that we can confirm that those do or don't exist. But I don't think this is a misprint if it is appearing in both EU and USA product, and you're having a chance at that. However, weirder things have happened in the community, such as Maximum Crisis super rares being accidentally revealed in an OTS pack, which is how we saw Calamities was a super rare. So weird things do happen, but I don't think these are misprints. Also, the prices for these are getting rather wild on TCG Player. $1,000 the lowest listing for Slifer. After the Slifer Raw, they got snap called at $100. Obelisk as well, and now people are trying gross listings. Do not pay crazy amounts for these. You do have them at $200 at Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily, as well as Tier 0, code What'sGood5 for 5% off, and to support the channel directly. And the competition has really helped bring other prices down, such as Lightning Storm is now around $52. I told you this would go down, and Daily and Tier 0 definitely have helped with that. Utopic Dragon Future, it is also down the F0. It's around 43, and I think this will be more towards 35, 30 soon, like I said. So glad to see some price coolants properly so on the market. Rhoda being the huge surprise of the set. I know tons of people did want this, but the top collector rare and perhaps the most demanded things after these pharaoh rares, that's pretty darn wild, even ahead of Lightning Storm right now, with sales at huge price points over here on Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily and Tier 0. So really awesome again to see the competition ramp up, and that's going to be King's Court in my timing. Yes, under 3 minutes. Let's get into today's market watch for anybody not wanting a ton of King's Court news. Reptile Spawn has revolving buyouts on it. This was bought out before for the Ogdo Attic, Ogdo Addict, however you want to say it. It's around $2 for the Unlim still, but the first edition has been completely wiped off the market to the point of $10, and that being the only listing. This card reads: removed from play a reptilian monster from your graveyard, special summon 2 reptilian tokens to your side of the field. No restriction at all on those tokens or any other summons. It is a pretty decent card. Then you also do have 0 movement in the Ogdoadic engine, and I do think that's pretty interesting considering usually new support equals prices go when they're affordable, and you know there's a ton of people hoping that Ancient Guardians gets any traction. I don't think a ton of the set would be getting opened if this rose towards $12 and maybe $8, but we are waiting a long time for that to happen. I do have confirmation, though, from Robbie Cole, other market man, that Reptilian Echidna had major sales last night. He said he sold 100 plus personally that he had listed up, and people did try to take these off the market before on the original Reptile support. This is general Reptile good stuff, I suppose. 2 monsters, including a Reptile monster, so you just need 1. And I do find it to be a pretty good link monster. Maybe get yours sooner than later if you do want, if you think the deck's gonna do anything. I don't know. It does help the Ogdo Attic, but that deck was so hyped before, and it's one of those overhyped history kind of things of, yeah, people were way too excited about it coming out and its potential, and it led to people really latching onto a product they couldn't, or shouldn't have, I guess I should say, but couldn't make money off of. And with that set, it needed Ash Blossom or something, as I was saying, to save the set, and I got so much pushback on that set. I now now have a video up called Ancient Guardians, the worst set of all time, question mark, but Dimensional Guardians is something I blocked out of my head, very luckily, and then I suppose you have the Ice Barrier structure recently too. Downer Magician back up in the price. This card itself has seen buyouts in the past format as an extra material for Zeus, and this is no different here. People are buying it apparently for Tri-Brigade, where you lay it on top of Lyrilusk assembled Nightingale. Another interesting thing is that this engine has been pushed back on its reprints over half a year into next year. So there's this value of time equals money. If you let this engine go for higher prices, since a lot of them were up in the price, and you see quantities are huge on market here, you may want to pick it back up if you have any inclination to be playing with it before that. And Recital Starling, it's really kind of an interesting focal point because it has low quantities. The Tri-Brigade engine itself, however, is way down in price. This could be because the Megatons are on the horizon. Phantom Baby Rage is a target for those, and we do have the upcoming YCS remote duel happening, so it'll be interesting to see if it proves itself in the battleground. I think this is being majorly slept on, but it does have its complications versus other decks, and people are getting very used to their inboards and how to play against them. Still, do not sleep on this deck. But interesting that Downard is that much up in price as we head into that. Let me know any other deck slapping Downard on as an extra material for Zeus Yep in order to get a second effect off during its time on the board, I guess. Rose Fairy is super cute in its interactions, and it's been bought out. Here you see very low listings. I want to read this off to you real quick. If this card is added from your deck to your hand by the effect of a spell trap or effect monster card, you can special summon it to the field. So basically, you have Ruddy Rose Witch, which reads, you can tribute this card, add a Witch of the Black Rose from your deck to your hand, and if you do take a level 3 or lower plant monster from your deck and place it on top of the deck, then you immediately normal summon Witch of the Black Rose. Well, you stack Rose Fairy, and then you normal summon your Witch of the Black Rose, which ultra rares and ultis are both up in price, and then you resolve its effect. This card cannot be special summoned when it's normal summoned while you control no cards. You draw a card, reveal it, and if it's not a monster, it goes to the graveyard and you destroy this card. Well, you guarantee the monster, and then the monster is going to summon itself, and you have the requirements with a tuner as well for Halqifibrax. Yeehaw! What a cute interaction overall, and people now want Rose Fairy for it. It's still pretty niche. Plant support is really cool though, and I look forward to what plants will be doing in the future, but this is definitely overhyped for a niche situation, but that's what happens with really low printings from, is this now 10 years ago? Gosh, I'm so freaking old. I think it's like 11 or 9, I mean, but still very, very crazy how old some of these cards get. Stardust Dragon is a very interesting conversation point here on actual sales rates. It's driving me crazy. Lightly played, 2,500. Near mint, 2,500. This is hitting the stratosphere. A lot of people are talking about the collector's market cooling down, PSA cards cooling down. People really want certain pieces of their childhood, and those are still skyrocketing here into the market, and the sales rates being available to us now, it's insane what some people spent on it. Look at the just how quickly it goes up. Near mint in March, 1,000, then 2,000, then 25 to people accepting light play copies. Oh man, could not be me. I want near mint if I'm spending that kind of money on any card. Numeral Network is getting a little traction. I think this one's my fault in the Slifer network, unironically. So many people from my stream have been saying they're picking up the deck, and I've had more fun playing this deck than I have in a long time in Yu-Gi-Oh! It is casual, it is not competitive, but casual doesn't mean broke. The Numeral Network itself is competitive, however, and while it's barely up in price, that's a whole 10% hike, it is notable that the quantities are starting to run quite low for what it was. We saw 98 to 100 of these different listings before, and it is now half that. Also, Numeron Calling still relatively up there, but you do need that for the engine, but you're buying 3 of these, and you can play 2 or 1 of these depending on the situation. I would probably still play 2. So Numeron Calling is a piece you want to have access to, and then I would also think about getting Soul Crossing sooner than later. Even though it's in both structure decks, this is the best original card to them, and I don't think it'll get a reprint for some time, considering Konami likes to rewave a structure deck a lot of the times before putting support elsewhere, and with this, I don't see where they would put it in any kind of relevance besides next year's Megatons, which shouldn't happen unless it's a rarity upgrade to go with the theme. Please don't do that kind of stuff, Konami. But I seriously would, while it's super budget, think about getting it sooner than later. And that was weird. I was just trying to look at the deck. Come on, I want to see the other singles. Memories of Hope also goes with that Numeron Slifer engine for draws. It has 2 versions. I've noticed this used to get targeted by the buyout groups a lot as an insane potential card. If you're looking at upcoming decks, though, it doesn't really fit with Utopia. It only really fits with the Numeron engine, and to some people, it feels like a win more card in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! It's still a penny stonk, in my opinion, and get whichever version you really want. Ultra's technically higher and fits with a lot of different kind of Slifer, Obelisk, and Raw text, though, where super rare, not so much. Finally, Foolish Burial Goods. We memed this into existence of, haha, too many reprints. Its last one was actually as recent as Maximum Gold, though, and every version of this card continues to go up over time. The Secret Rares most recently bought out. This is being reported due to Sky Strikers playing it. I think that's a tech option, but people are telling me it's in a ton of builds. I'm not a Sky Striker expert, so let me know if you're playing this in your deck, if you're a Striker player, or why you wouldn't. I feel like it's a net negative advantage a lot of the time, but you can send Metal Foes Fusion, get 2 spells, your 3rd spell turns on Engage. It does make sense with 1 Engage to end up powering that up early, and I have played against it, but not every Striker build that ends up playing against me ends up activating this, so I'm not 100% sure, but I have seen it played in competitive Striker, so interesting note there on if that's why it's suddenly up in prices. Many Striker buyouts have happened. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Hopefully it didn't keep you too much time into King's Court. I know some people seriously have gripes with it, but it's the new set, and whenever stuff like that happens, I want to keep up on the reporting and misinformation if I can. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations, and let me know what you think of everything going on with the market. Of course, new support equals prices go niche combos and weird text, and then King's Court, yep, an interesting set no matter if you're for or against how the set was created. It's interesting to talk about, say the least.